Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, May 11th, 2025. Happy Mother's Day out there to all the moms that love Ron's Rundown. Hope you enjoy your day. Now, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, Major League Baseball. First up, we got the Chicago Cubs taking on the New York Mets. We got Matthew Boyd and Griffin Canning as the starters. Two starting pitchers that have been excellent this season. The Mets have won a ton of Griffin Canning starts. He's in great form. I did mention some regression concerns in his game. I don't love the fact that he has been falling behind the count very often to his opponents, but he's been able to get through those at-bats, earn some strikeouts, and obviously a very sharp 2.5 ERA. Matthew Boyd, though, also really pitching well on the other side for Chicago. He's got in his last start 6 innings, 2 runs against the Giants, 7 Ks in a 9-2 Cubs win. The Cubs have won 2 of his last 3 starts. You look at Matthew Boyd's numbers on the road, away from Wrigley Field, still very strong. Sub-3 ERA, 21 in the third innings, 21 strikeouts, a low opponent's batting average at 250, and just 1 home run given up. I think this is going to be a great game, probably more of a lower scoring game, but I think the Cubs can get to Canning. They've got great numbers against righties this season. I do still have some regression concerns for Canning going forward. I'm going to roll at Chicago and this one on the money line on the road. Next up, the Atlanta Braves taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Chris Sale and Carmen Mlodzinski are the projected starters. I like the under in this game. I think Chris Sale has a really strong outing. His ERA is 4.07 on paper, but that was more so because of the early season struggles in his first couple of games, but he's been so sharp recently. His last 5 starts, 3 runs or fewer in all 5. His last 4 starts, 2 runs or fewer in all 4. And his last 2 games against the Rockies and the Reds, 20 strikeouts in 13 2/3 combined. So he's in great form. The Pirates have been miserable offensively this year. I don't think they do too much in this game, but I also think that the Braves offense been a little bit inconsistent recently. I think Mlodzinski's a lot better than his current ERA. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, similar to Game 1 of this series. So give me the under in Braves-Pirates. Next up, we got the Washington Nationals and the St. Louis Cardinals. We got Miles Mikolas and Mackenzie Gore as the projected starters. Mackenzie Gore, when he's pitching at home this season, he's had 3 starts, 18 innings, 3 quality starts, 6 innings apiece, 28 strikeouts in those 18 innings with just 1 home run given up, only 4 runs given up with a 161 opponent's batting average. Gore has been a lot sharper at Nationals Park than he's been on the road. I think he has a good outing in this one, another quality start in this game. I think the Nationals back him up against Mikolas. Still not one of my favorite options in this Cardinals rotation. Last game, 5 innings, 3 runs, a home run, 3 walks to the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates. Only 1 strikeout in that game as well. Now, the Cardinals backed him up and won that one, but I don't think they get a lot of run support in this game against Gore. Maybe some runs against the Nationals bullpen, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Give me the Nationals in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we got the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Chad Patrick and Drew Rasmussen are the projected starters. This is a tough one. I think it's a coin flip, but I've kind of felt like that in this series, the first 2 games as well. It's just these are 2 teams I think are kind of even teams. I think this is an even pitching matchup. Rasmussen was really pitching well at the beginning of the season. His last couple starts, he has struggled though. And when you look at Chad Patrick, coming off a good outing against the Astros, 6 2/3, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts, in a 4-3 Brewers win. I think I'm going to lean towards the Rays, though. I think Rasmussen has a better chance of bouncing back. I still think that when you look at his first few games, he was one of the best pitchers in the American League. He's faced some tough lineups recently. The Phillies, the Diamondbacks, hasn't been the best. But now against the Brewers, I think he could put together that bounce-back outing and give the Rays the W. It's a close one, and I think it's a coin flip type of game. But I am going to lean towards Tampa Bay in this one on the money line. Next up, we got the Texas Rangers taking on the Detroit Tigers. We got Nathan Eovaldi and Reese Olson as the projected starters. I like the under in this game. Nathan Eovaldi, a good starting pitching option for the Rangers. I think he can go 5-6 strong innings and hand it over to a Rangers bullpen that may be struggling in the last couple of series, but overall this season has still been solid. I'm not too worried about it going forward. On the other side, you got the Tigers. Reese Olson's in great form. The Rangers have been miserable offensively this season and as of late, so I just think we see a low-scoring game, a competitive game, but give me the under in Rangers-Tigers. Next up, we got the Boston Red Sox taking on the Kansas City Royals. Lucas Giolito and Seth Lugo are the projected starters. I think in their current form, this is a pretty lopsided pitching matchup in favor of KC. I do think that there could be some regression concerns for Lugo going forward. Only 37 strikeouts in 50 2/3 innings, Only had 3 of them in 6 2/3 against the White Sox last time out, but he is more of a pitch-to-contact guy. He's pitched well at Kauffman Stadium in his first couple of seasons as a Royal. 2.01 ERA there in about 30 innings so far this year. Giolito pitched really well in his season debut, but got crushed in that second outing against the Rangers. 6 runs, 10 base hits to go with it. No home runs, but still can't trust him in this game. The Royals have been so strong at Kauffman Stadium. I got to roll with KC in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Houston Astros. We've got Ronel Blanco and Chase Petty as the starters. Petty struggled in his season debut, his MLB debut against the Cardinals. 2 1/3 innings, 9 earned runs, 2 home runs to go with it. I think he'll be a lot better in this outing, but not enough to keep the Reds in this game. I think the Astros can score 3-4 runs off of Petty, add a couple of runs on this Cincinnati Reds bullpen, and I think Blanco, who has a steep ERA on paper, but has been a lot better in his recent games. The ERA is a little bit misleading. I think he can go out and 5-6 solid innings against a Reds team has just not been great offensively in the last couple of series. So give me these Houston Astros on the money line and run line. Next up, we got the Miami Marlins taking on the Chicago White Sox. We got Sandy Alcantara and Sean Burke as the projected starters. Sandy Alcantara, an ERA above 8.4 now, 8.42 on the season. A lot of that's because of the last 2 games, 7 2/3 combined, 12 earned runs against the same team. That team, the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team that he struggled against in the past, and a team that is not the Chicago White Sox. I think Sandy can bounce back. I still don't love the form that he's in. Certainly not pitching his best, but I think this is a much better matchup for him on the road against the White Sox. And you look at Sean Burke, good numbers on paper, but an expected ERA above 7 right now. There's not too many starting pitchers with that many innings, that kind of sample size, with an expected ERA above 7. I think there's big-time regression concerns for Burke. I think the Marlins get to him. I think Sandy has a bounce-back start. Maybe not perfect, but good enough. I'm going to roll with the Marlins in this one on the money line and run line on the road. Next up, the Minnesota Twins and the San Francisco Giants. Landon Roop and Pablo Lopez are the projected starters. Pablo Lopez is in great form, and the key for me is only 2 home runs given up overall this season. No home runs his last 4 starts. We've seen Pablo in his career. At times, he gives up the sharp contact, gives up the home run ball, but he's been great this season, limiting that sharp contact, keeping the ball on the ground, and still missing some bats. Great strikeout numbers, 37 Ks in 33 innings, had 11 strikeouts in his last start against the Orioles. And you face a Giants team that overall this season, in terms of expected slugging percentage, 5th worst in baseball, expected batting average in the bottom 6 in baseball. I mentioned the underlying numbers for San Francisco offensively are just not great. You give them credit for the record they have on paper, but I do think they're a team. While I love their pitching staff, it's why I like the under in this game. I just really worry about that offense. I don't know if it can go the distance for a 162-game season. They're going to have to make some moves or make some improvements offensively. But when you look at Landon Roop, his ERA is at 4.89. I think it's misleading. I think he's a much better pitcher than that, and I think he has a much better matchup here against the Minnesota Twins. So give me the under in Giants Twins in this one. Next up, we got the San Diego Padres and the Colorado Rockies. We got Nick Pivetta and German Marquez as the projected starters. Now, you may remember, if you watched the rundown last year when Pivetta was listed as a starter at Coors Field, I mentioned that he really struggled against the Rockies in general and at Coors Field specifically in his career. And he's the type of pitcher that, throughout his career, he's given up a lot of home runs. That's usually been his pitfall. It's the home run ball. This year hasn't really been too much of an issue. However, the last couple starts, he's given up two bombs to the Giants and the Yankees. But we talked about his struggles at Coors Field. We faded him in that game. I forget what we took. It was either the Rockies or the over. Nonetheless, it was a 20-7 final score in favor of the Rockies in that start for Pivetta. He got crushed in that game at Coors Field. And you look at his numbers in his career at Coors, 10 innings, only 3 starts, but 0-3 record and 18.9 ERA in those 10 innings, 24 hits, 21 earned runs, 10 strikeouts, so strikeout per inning, but a 2.8 whip. He has just not pitched well at Coors Field. I know he's having one of the best starts to a season in his career, but I can't trust Pivetta at Coors right now, and German Marquez has been miserable in his last 5 starts, so I think we see a lot of runs in this game. We've seen some runs in this series. Give me the over in Padres Rockies. Next up, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Los Angeles Angels. Zach Eflin and Tyler Anderson are the projected starters. I have to fade the Orioles when they're facing a left-handed starter right now. I mean, they've just been miserable since the first game of the season. You look at the last 30 days, they're dead last in baseball in team OPS against lefties. About 280 plate appearances with a 456 team OPS and a 68 isolated power, which is also near the bottom of the league. 26% strikeout rate, almost 27% strikeout rate, low walk rate. Anderson's pitching well so far. I do think there are some regression concerns in this game, but he's got a great matchup here against the O's. And Zach Eflin is a good starting pitching option, but you look at, this is his first start back from the injury, only had one rehab start. He pitched well in that game, but I could see the the Angels finding a couple of runs off of him early, and I don't think the Orioles back him up. I think this could be pretty a low-scoring game overall, but I think the Angels, at this kind of price, certainly worth a shot with how bad the Orioles have been against lefties. Next up, the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tony Gonsolin and Zach Gallen are the projected starters. I do think there is a little bit of uncertainty with Gonsolin's game right now. This is only his third start back from injury. His first two games were against the Miami Marlins, and he pitched pretty well in those starts, had good strikeout numbers, but did give up a home run in each of those starts. And when you got Gallen on the other side, who's been excellent recently, he faced the Mets back-to-back times, which I think is a lot tougher than the Marlins, and he went combined 13 innings, just 2 runs, in 2 Diamondbacks wins. His strikeout numbers were great. He's got decent numbers against his current Dodgers lineup. For a starting pitcher with this many at-bats and this large of a sample size, Gallen's got pretty good numbers when it comes to facing the Dodgers. And while Gonsolin's also pitched well against the current Diamondbacks lineup, I think this is going to be a Diamondbacks victory. I think they get on the board early against Gonsolin. I don't love this Diamondbacks bullpen. We've seen it already in this series be a problem, but I think they do enough here to grab the win. I'm going to roll Arizona on the money line in this one at Chase Field. Next up, we got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Seattle Mariners. Jose Urena and Bryce Miller are the projected starters. I don't think Urena is a viable starting pitching option or pitching option in general at the major league level right now. I can't believe that this is the best option the Blue Jays had in this situation. I know teams go through injuries in their starting rotation, the bullpen throughout the course of the season, and sometimes they pile up, and you got no choice. You have to bring up some rookies in the farm system. You have to sign guys, sign free agents, but I just can't believe that Urena is the best option Toronto had in this situation. He was okay in that last game against the Angels, still ended up being an 8-3 loss, and still wasn't that great of an outing, and I don't think he pitches too well in this one. The Mariners have been great against right-handed pitching. I know it's a pitcher-friendly ballpark, so I don't think he'll get absolutely shelled, but I still don't think he is going to pitch too well in this game, and I think Bryce Miller is the much better option on the other side. I'm going to roll the Seattle Mariners laying 1.5 and 2.5 runs in this one. Next up, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Cleveland Guardians. Zach Wheeler and Luis Ortiz are the starters. I got to roll with the Phillies in this one, lay the 1.5 runs on the road. Ortiz has been inconsistent. We saw a really good outing against the Twins on April 30th, but before that, he struggled against the Yankees, giving up 4 runs in 4 1/3 innings. And then after that Twins start against the Nationals, his most recent outing, 5 1/3, 6 total runs, 5 of those were earned, 3 walks to go with it. The Phillies are a tough lineup. I think that he struggles, and I think Zach Wheeler can put together a quality start. Maybe even more than that, 6-7 really strong innings in a Phillies win and comfortable victory on Sunday Night Baseball. So give me the Phillies in this one, laying the 1.5 runs on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Happy Mother's Day again. Good luck.